Good. Good morning, everyone. I am Priya. I see a lot of familiar faces, so I know I don't need that much of an introduction. Yet, for my new divas, and there is no dude here, so divas here and dudes who are watching after the event is done, we are recording. I am Priya. I am mom to a sophomore high schooler. Breast cancer thriver and also a registered dietitian. And in my practice, I help patients and my divas and dudes connect the dots between knowing and integrating lifestyle practices in the areas of eating better, moving better, sleeping better, managing your daily stressors better, so that each of you can experience better health outcomes regardless of wherever you are in the journey. So that's an elevator speech about me and what I do. So what we are going to do today is, I know my life is busy. I assume, all of my patients have a busy real life. So today's dish is one of my fallback options. It's like, if everything goes out of the way, what do I do? Right? So as we get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started with the cooking. You do have the recipe sheet up here. And if you, these are the instructions, the ingredients, how to prepare. And if you turn the sheet, there is also some tidbits about the spices and how they are made, what do they do, and a little bit that garam masala is the king of spices usually in India, and it adds flavor to almost everything except for oatmeal. Okay, so that's what we'll be following today. I also made a yogurt with cucumber side up there. I know it's very hot, so that's up there. It's very simple. I'll take you through it once I am done with the cooking process. But feel free to stop me in between, ask questions. You know me, right? So, and I have that coffee energy from one of our divas here. So, thank you very much. So, I have an instant pot here, and I usually love the one pot ones because, I just have to take care of one washing. Of course, there will be some serving spoons and all of that, but there is only one washing I need to take care of. So I did put it in saute mode and put it in high first before you all came here so that it got hot. And now I have put it in low or less so that it doesn't kind of burn. Okay, so this is tried and perfected recipe, but sometimes curveballs do come up. If it comes up, we will handle it the way it comes. Okay, so I have avocado oil here, and I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of it. And I'm sometimes that intuitive cook, which some people don't like, but I like, because that's how I make things happen in my kitchen at least. So I have oil in there, and then I know the instant pot is hot. It tells hot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some cumin seeds. And if you turn your sheet, you will see that cumin seeds helps in digestion. It adds flavor. It's one of the cornerstones in every dish that we make in India. Again, except for savory oatmeal, maybe. Okay, so I place the cumin seed in here, and in some time it will start sizzling. It is not sizzling, so I'm going to change the heat up to a little bit higher so that it starts sizzling. And as it sizzles, I am curious to know, what are your fallback options? If things don't go the way they were planned on a specific day, what are your fallback options with regard to your meal? Go ahead.
A salad that you can just put anything in, any leftover, like chicken or freaking easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a no-brainer for you. Even if I wake you up from deep sleep, you know how to kind of put it, right? So that's the fallback option. Who else would like to share their fallback option? Uh-huh. Totally, totally. Go ahead, go ahead. How do you make your pizza, or do you just buy it?
I just call order now.
Ah, okay. What else would you have with your pizza? If at all you just had the pizza, if at all. Just.
A 10-year-old and a 15-year-old,
Mhm.
and they always eat pizza.
Mhm.
That's it, we're done.
Okay. Pizza, it's in my repertoire too. What else?
Peanut butter.
Okay.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, sandwiches are always
Yeah, peanut butter on a toast or
Toast or crackers.
or even a
Or
fruit.
celery.
and a baked potato. Again,
Yes.
everyone has cheese and butter, and you can just still throw some chicken in there if you have some ground beef. So simple.
Life is all about being simple. Any other ideas that's coming up here?
I eat cereal. I always have cereal, breakfast cereal in my cabinet. And sometimes, especially if I've gone out to lunch or things are just running late, I'm really not that hungry, especially when it's this hot.
Yeah,
Yes, I like shredded wheat, and it provides roughage. I just like it. And then I use almond milk, the unsweetened almond.
Yeah, definitely, right? So a lot of fallback options here, right from pizza to chicken salad to cereal to just, peanut butter on a toast or, veggies or anything like that, right? So this little recipe here does need a little bit of planning. I will always have some black bean or any of those beans, canned beans ready in my pantry. I will also have quinoa ready in my pantry. I like the tricolored ones. The white ones are also well and good. Okay. What else? I'll have some fire roasted canned tomatoes ready in there. This is asafoetida. Asafoetida is a digestive, it comes from the bark of a tree in tropical regions, right? It helps with digestion. It also gives a little bit of umami flavor, and it just is so aromatic. And it is again a cornerstone of most of the dishes in India. I'm going to bring it down tad a bit. So I mentioned about cans that will be ready in my pantry. I will usually buy 3 or 4 and keep it ready for the anything that happens in life. I did dice red onions, but you can use any type of onions. And if it is not a good week, which I know ahead of time, I will put in that extra dollars and even buy diced onions. And onions are really, really good. They are alliums. They have a lot of anti-cancer properties in there. So definitely, onions are part of my repertoire. For any dish, onions do go in, right? So a little bit of onion goes in there. You hear the sizzling sizzling sound. In my repertoire, voice and sound is the same. I don't know why, but it is the same. And then give it a nice little stir. I like to add salt as I cook, which means a little bit each time, so that it can get gelled with, mix in with all the veggies. So little bit of salt in there, and then I have some garlic. Again, alliums, has lot of anti-cancer properties. Just 1 clove of garlic each day will protect you. So that's the power of garlic. Okay, so garlic, I need a spoon. Some garlic in here. I have mentioned the quantities that I put in there, but it's always like, I usually imagine how I want the flavors to come out. So some garlic. I have some minced fresh ginger. So a bit of that. Do I have extra spoons? Yes. A bit of that. Usually an inch of ginger. Again, ginger helps with digestion, and it's a wonderful root. I hope nobody will run and come. Oh, what's cooking here? And after that, I'm going to add black beans. Black beans are plant-based protein. They have around 7 to 8 grams of protein in half a cup. And it also has fiber in it, which sadly animal-based protein don't have. So they do have around 7 grams of protein in half a cup. Of course, a lot of vitamins, minerals, B vitamins, anything and everything. Okay. So let me make sure this is less. So the black bean is in there. Give it a nice stir, and I'm going to add a little bit of water so that my pot doesn't burn tad a bit. I have bottled water here. If it was my home, I'll just pick it up from the tap. So black bean has gone in. I'm going to add the tomatoes at the end so that my pot doesn't give me that burn signal here. So I'm going to add the tomatoes at the end. A little bit of salt. The salt goes in there. And then I'm going to add the quinoa. I soak the quinoa for like half an hour so that it gets a little softened and quickens the cooking process. But even if you forget soaking, no problem. You can just kind of take it and put it inside the Instant Pot with some water and it takes care of it, okay? Sitting on the side, so I'm not able, I will make it a point that you're sitting there. So I'm going to add the quinoa. I do have clean hands. I washed my hands before I came in. And quinoa is a complete plant protein. Why is it called a complete plant protein? Any ideas? Yes, it has all the essential amino acids. Meaning, essential amino acids, meaning why is it called essential? Because our body needs it from outside. It cannot make it inside our, inside our liver or inside our organs. You have to have it, via food, right? So quinoa is a complete protein. It has complete plant protein because most of legumes, beans, they will have one essential acid missing and you will have to complement it with something else to get that full protein profile, amino acid profile. Quinoa has all of it. And I love the tricolor quinoa because it leaves that crunchiness in your dish, right? But you can have the white quinoa too, no problem, okay? I hope I got all of it. The remaining will be there for the next time. So quinoa went in, and then I am going to add the tomatoes. And I am searching for a good spoon. This is ginger. So and once this is done, once I close the pot, it's going to take a little while to get it done. So you can ask your questions, we can have a conversation and whatnot. So tomatoes went in, little bit more, little bit more. I'm just going to turn this off so that it doesn't burn. Get some time to settle down. And then I mixed all the spices together for the sake of time. So I have turmeric, some pepper, garam masala, and that's it. Okay, so I have mixed it all together and I'm going to place it in here. If you like it a little spicy, you can go a little up, but I'm going to add a little bit more of salt. I belong to the category where if it is a little less salt, it's all good. I don't want it to go higher because I can always add salt rather than it being too salty. You can also add peppers, the colored peppers of any color. You can add one of them. You can add celery. You can add carrots. Basically, your imagination is the limit on the vegetables that you want to add. Okay. And then I have mixed half a cup of vegetable broth and half a cup of coconut milk in this and kept ready. And I might not need the whole cup, but just to kind of put it all in. That's it. Did I finish everything in here? Yes, I did. Now I'm going to turn it on and then set the pressure cooker signal on, and I'm going to come down to 0 and then wait it till we get done. That's it. Yeah, because you know the steam will get, you can go up to 1 if you want it a little bit more softer, but 0 means you know all the steam kind of gets inside this and the steam will do the cooking. But there are some times I choose to go 1 if I feel like there are some crunchier vegetables and I want it to get softer. I might go up to 1, but mostly 0 does the magic.
I didn't know it was cooked on 0.
No,
Oh, it isn't?
it isn't. It just cooked with that. It gets cooked with the steam because it's a very contained space. The steam will do the job of cooking. But it takes a little bit while to kind of cooked up, and I hope it doesn't do the burn sign. So, what's that? It will beep. It will beep, and then I need to kind of keep it like 5 to 10 minutes for the steam to kind of come down, because it's all steam cooking, right? So around 5 to 10 minutes, and then release this pressure, and then I'll mix in some lemon and some cilantro. You can top it with hemp seeds, with pumpkin seeds, any of the seeds, and yeah, that's it. And have a beautiful side there, just yogurt and some cucumber with some salt, some lemon, and it's done. You can see that it's slowly kind of picking up the steam, and it will do a beep sound once it's done. Do you use quinoa in your repertoire, or salads? Do you cook it ahead of time, or?
I know that they have the bags that are already.
Easier, the 1 minute ones, or yeah. That's how you make our life simple, and there is no difference, except if you want to look at if there is any added sodium or anything like that. It's important to make our life easy and not make it like a chore. So totally. And there was one more diva who raised the hand. Yes. Cinnamon.
Oh, it's cinnamon.
Yeah. It has that nutty flavor, isn't it? Broth. Yeah, the broth adds everything, all those micronutrients that you need. The broth has the veggies in it, so it does allow you to get that extra flavor and a little extra. Yeah.
I have a large family,
Mhm.
so I typically can't use an Instapot to cook. Is it easier on a stove, or should you put it in a Dutch oven, like in the oven to cook it, or?
Good question. I think it can also fit that casserole definition in some way. So it is possible to do it inside the oven if you want to do some experiment and see how it works. I'm a big experimenter, right? Experiment, but you can do it on stove top too, which means yeah. So
I treat it as rice. When I make it, it's like making rice.
100%.
Well, this dish in general, yeah. So, well,
Because if you don't have one of those and want to use like I have a big oven, like a Dutch oven, stainless steel, it's probably about this big. So if I want like chili or something like that, make it like this. But since I can do that in that, there's a lot of food.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I would say that, you're using that tall pot to make chili, which means you will saute things inside it and all of that. So yeah, definitely. And it'll work on a big saute pan too. I think just like the Dutch oven, if you have a big saute pan with see?
Do you use more water when you would do it on the stove?
No, 1 cup. For quinoa, 1 cup of quinoa gets cooked with 1 cup of liquid. That's the ratio usually. So it beeped. Thank God it did not burn. And I'm going to allow that steam to settle down. Yeah, it's steaming. So it does. So yeah, you can do it on a saute pan. You can do it in experiment in a Dutch oven. I'm sure if you Google for Dutch oven, quinoa, black bean, kind of.
totally just use the pre-cooked quinoa. That's I'm like, I'm not gonna go the whole rice route.
Yeah.
But the pre-cooked quinoa, just I guess saute everything on the pan and then just get it ready.
Yeah, 100%. And quinoa is a beautiful grain, just like how one of our friends mentioned here.
What you have there, is that pre-cooked?
No. I just soaked it before I came here, and I put a little bit of water in it. So by the time I got here, it got a little bit softer, but it's not going to make a difference. Even if there are times when I have just added it like that because I forgot to soak, and it came out just as good as the before.
The last step is just to cook the quinoa.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else just needs to really get sauteed and warmed up.
Right.
So if I was doing it on the stovetop,
Mm-hmm.
I would decide when it was done when the quinoa was soft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another way of. There are gazillion ways to do this, right? And I think that's the beauty of. At least from my perspective, I believe I can't follow a recipe. So if you ask me to bake a cake, I will for sure not be able to do it. I have never been able to bake a cake. That's that's total transparency there, because I want to change something in there. I don't know. That's how my mind is made. So I will never bake a cake.
When you make a cake.
See, right? So I don't have to measure here, right? Yeah.
That's what makes the cake.
Yes. 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 So when I was doing my nutrition graduation degree, there is a module there where we have to make a cake and actually kind of show it to the instructor. I did not do well there. I got as much as I told my mind to stick to the recipe, I couldn't. And that was the only assignment where I got a 70, and I was like, that's enough. Which means the cake did not come up. And then she asked me, what did you do? And I definitely did not follow the recipe. But you're right. If for cake, you have to follow the recipe. And with normal day dishes, I like to go by eyeball it and do it, because I think that's how I have seen my mom do it, and that's how I think cooking works. Because if I'm following a recipe, then there is sharing of my mind resources going in there, and it doesn't work for me like that. So I'm going to allow this to kind of once this hits 10, I will release the pressure and then mix in the cilantro and the lemon, and we'll be ready to taste. Yes.
Is the tomato for flavor or for acid or both?
It's for flavor. It's for lycopene. It has that flavonoid, I think, lycopene in it, which has anti-cancer properties, right? So it's for flavor, it's for color, it's for umami taste, and it's also for our health. Great question. What else?
So this asafoetida,
Mm-hmm.
does it have taste to it?
I have not tasted it just like that, but it has a little bit of a tangy, bittery taste. But when you put it in oil, it doesn't. So the oil, the burning, I think the oil does some magic, and it also has that oniony flavor. So for some of my patients who cannot have onion because of some GI issues, asafoetida is the thing that they move to. So
okay, but still using coconut milk. Why coconut milk instead of just
normal milk? Coconut milk is for flavor, and some of the rich Indian dishes will have coconut milk, and coconut milk does have that healthy fat, which is laurate. Laorate, which is a medium chain fatty acid. You have different ranges of fatty acids. There is long chain fatty acid, there is short chain fatty acid, and there is that medium chain fatty acid, which comes in MCT oils these days, which comes from coconut actually. So coconut milk has that whole profile of fatty acids, and our body does need healthy fats, right? So it's for flavor. It also has that whole gamut of fatty acid that our body needs. It does taste a little bit like coconut. It's sweet, and I do use it in my coffee sometimes. It has that creaminess. So if you want, over a period of time, as I moved away from all the creamers, this kind of 2 teaspoons of this kind of brings in that creaminess, and I love it in some way. So it does have that nutty taste, and I love it. And it's very, specific, right? When you are born in a culture where coconut tree is in your backyard, it's a totally different thing. It's like coconut is part and parcel of any recipe that my mom makes at home. So it's something that's part and parcel of, my culture at least. So, yeah.
That would
Beautiful
keep it
question.
vegetarian too,
Mhm.
Yeah.
100%.
as opposed to the regular milk
It will keep it vegan.
or vegan.
Yeah, there is no milk, but you can add. I have not experimented with soy milk or any of those sorts. But usually, there are some times I'll just use the broth, will not go for coconut milk. It all depends on the mood that I am in on a certain day. But the coconut milk adds a little bit extra flavor to the whole dish.
Creaminess.
Yes, creaminess
I
and.
was like mine black and gold.
Really? Coffee, black and blonde. Yeah, yeah. Yes.
This Duran masala, can you buy it already blended together or you blend your own?
No, I buy it. I got it this time from HEB. They do have it in HEB plus in that healthy living aisle, or any Indian store has it. So I was gladly surprised this time that I didn't have to go into the Indian store.
In the spices section at HEB.
In the Indian aisle or no, the normal aisle.
Spices.
Yeah,
It's not hard to find.
it's no longer hard to
All
find.
hard to find because there's like 1,000 spices. I never find what I want.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yes.
So this, I missed the very first part of the class. So this is a meal. I think it says here that it's
Yeah.
also a meal. So but we could use it as a side and still get additional protein if we needed it, right? So just mix in more vegetables and then a form of protein. for
Yes.
people who consume
Yeah.
meat.
Yeah, absolutely. For any of my patients who want to move towards plant focused plate, I want every one of my patients to honor that if they had meat as part of their plate, they still keep it, but add maybe like how you mentioned this as part of that protein portion. Like if they are used to having like 2 palms of protein, like some of my big men, I might encourage them, you can still keep your meat, maybe have 1 palm and maybe, have 1 serving of quinoa or bean or anything like that, or a dish like this, so that they are getting that plant derived protein. So yeah, you can have this as a side dish and any of those animal based protein as part of your plate as well.
As this is a meal, what's the serving size? So is it a cup? Is it a half a cup? Is it
I would go.
right?
Great question. Great question. It has lot of fiber. And I have noticed, at least for me and my family, we get full with like, this is a cup, right? With around 1.5 cups. That's it, because it's very fiber rich and it does have around 16 grams of protein, 16 to 20 grams of protein in it. Because quinoa, 1 cup, 1/4 cup of quinoa has 7 grams of protein. So, when there is, yeah.
That's 24.
Yes, there you go, right? So there is that, I think, misconception that if you are fully plant, like wholesome plant based, it's hard to get protein. I would actually say that that's a misconception. Of course, you need to be a little more planned and intentional on including the right plant sources as part of your plate, but it's completely possible to be fully plant, like vegan, not like from your Impossible Burger or Beyond Meat, not from those products, but with whole plant-based food. It's definitely possible to be as healthy as an animal oriented protein. So yeah.
So the offset potato would probably be a substitute for onion also. You said substitute
As a
for both,
fetida?
substitute for both of them.
You can have it as a substitute because for some of my patients, as I mentioned, onion is not something that sits well with their GI. So to kind of get that onion flavor in, you can also use onion infused olive oil or any of those onion infused oils, because when onion gets infused, the part of onion that doesn't sit well with their GI is not getting into that oil. Yeah, so you will see in HEB aisle, there is garlic infused oil, there is shallot infused oil, which means that you can get that flavor. Of course, you know, onion has the fiber and all those alliums. Maybe you are going a little bit, you know, down on all those, you know, nutrients, but to get that flavor and still keep your meal interesting and fulfilling and satisfying, you know, you can go for that as well. But asafoetida is a good substitute for that onion flavor.
And the other ingredient, tomatoes, if I left those out, what could I put in place of the tomatoes?
Good question. There is that paste, the onion paste, the small, it's very concentrated. You might not need squeeze it a little bit so that, you know, you still get that tomatoes umami. I'm also thinking if we can use soy sauce. I'm not sure, because soy has that umaminess. My head is not sitting still in place, kind of substituting tomatoes with soy, but that could be a possibility. But to reduce the amount of tomato, if at all any of you has sensitivity towards tomato, the paste kind of comes really concentrated. So you might not need to add so much of tomato. You might maybe need to add like 2 teaspoons of it and still get that tomato flavor in your dish. It's done. Let's see how it came out. I just press it. You want to come and see? If you want to come and see how it looks, and then I'll add the flavoring. The quinoa is cooked. Everything is blended together. Yes. Yes.
How much of the asafoetida did you use? Because I don't see.
I did not see. I did not put something in there.
Asafoetida to add it, but it doesn't say how much.
How much?
Unless I missed it somewhere.
No, my bad. Maybe.
Oh,
It's like a pinch. It's it's a very strong. If anybody wants to come and smell, they can always come and smell here. This is the asafoetida. It's a little stronger, so just a pinch. Yeah. Thank you for pointing it out. Yeah. I am sorry I missed that. And that's a great pointer too. I will add it. Okay. So I'm just going to finish the topping. I have some chopped cilantros here. And then I'll also put in the lemon and fluff it a bit. And in place of black bean, you can use black-eyed peas. You can use pinto beans. You can use, what else bean is there? Yeah, kidney bean too. So any bean goes into it. It just changes the flavor, which means you can do the same dish, not kind of, you know, making your tongue tired of the same taste. You can actually vary it any way you want. So some nice chopped cilantro. I love cilantro. And then some lemon on top. I will squeeze fresh lemon, but for the sake of convenience, as I am doing this cooking for the first time outside of my home where I have everything set up, I chose to have a little convenience, and I have, you know, some squeezed lemon here. This is my last spoon that is dry. And I am 100% confident that it has turned out well, because I am not going to taste it. No, I'm not going to taste it right outside the instant pot. As I'm cooking at home, I'll usually take it and taste, but here, I'm going to allow you and I'm 100% confident. It's not my home where, my boy is eating and my husband is eating, so I'm just going to... and you guys will give me honest opinion, how much was the salt, right? Because I did not taste all through the way, because I usually will taste to make sure, knowing that I don't follow a recipe, right? Uh, yeah, it's ready. I'm going to cancel. It's off. And so that's the easy Instant Pot 0-minute cook, maximum maybe 1-minute cook. It took around 10 minutes with some planning ahead. Planning ahead is the key, because when this is not in place, you always want this to be in place, and that comes with planning ahead, right? So thank you very much for coming in today, and you're welcome to taste and let me know your honest opinion. Thank you very much.